This is the story of a family that fell apart in the years just before World War II, and how one of the daughters found herself in a convent at the age of 3 and was only reunited with her father at the age of 15. The story starts in 1937 when the Doran family moved from Acol near Margate to Blackpool when Flight Sergeant Doran, who was in the RAF, was relocated to the northwest.
The whole family went up there. My brother, my older sister, and myself.
Maureen doesn't have many pictures from around this time, but she does have a picture of her mother and father at their wedding a few years previously. Sadly, the marriage didn't last very long in the northwest.
My father had a lodger, and unfortunately, he fell for my mother. My mother left my life then, and that was it. I never saw or heard anything of my mother again.
And how about your dad?
Well, my father, of course, it was the war, so he was all over the place.
So what happened to the Doran children?
My brother and I, my elder brother and myself, went into the orphanage, the convent with the nuns, and my elder sister was taken in by my father's elderly aunt, maiden aunt, in Belfast. And she went over there, and that was the last I ever saw of my elder sister.
It wasn't unusual for children to be separated from their parents at this time. The following pictures are all convalescent homes in Lytham, which received children before the war. So what can Maureen remember about the home where she and her brother lived?
It was 2 houses joined together, so there were semis. And in the one semi, of course, all the children lived. And in the second one adjoined to it, the nuns lived. And that's where they also had a chapel there as well. So we never went into the nun side unless, you went to mass there or whatever. But otherwise, we just lived in that one side. And then there was quite a big yard. And at the bottom of the yard, I could always remember there was another building, which was the laundry. And always remember, taking the sheets down to the laundry, and then you used to have the old-fashioned clothes racks that you used to wind up, put things on, then wind them up for them to dry. I can always see those in my mind's eye.
It's been difficult to trace the exact home where Maureen stayed, but it might have been the Ormerod, which was definitely run by nuns and which had a chapel and a big yard.
I mean, I can remember when, if you did transgress, there was punishment, obviously. Put your hands out, the old coat hanger would come down. But never any marks.
Did you ever transgress?
Oh, I expect I did. I'm sure I did. I don't know what I did, but I probably.
Maureen passed her 11 plus and became a day girl at Winkley Square Convent School in Preston. Her brother Ted was just up the road at the boys' school in the town.
I was very happy there. We were very well looked after. Admittedly, of course, because they were nuns, we rather had religion thrust down one's throat. And you can't do that, because that's a sin, that's a terrible sin. you could go to hell by continue doing that sort of thing. And I've always been brought up with that religion.
Maureen has identified herself in one of the pictures of a school hockey team.
I didn't know anything about the facts of life till I was about 16. Not like today. The nuns never talked about sex. Probably didn't know what it was.
Once she'd been put in the home, Maureen had no further contact with her mother or elder sister, but she was reunited with her father 7 years after the war had ended in 1952.
Well, yes. The nuns apparently had contacted my father and informed them that I could not remain there much longer. That the RAF, of course, always used to pay a child's allowance, but of course it ended when you were 15. And they said, she can't stay here. You have got to have her home. And I was put on the train. And I always remember I had a cat with me. And it was the only Manx cat out of the litter. And I had a suitcase full of clothes. They put me on the train. The conductor looked after me until we got to London, and I was picked up. And then, of course, I went to live with my stepmother and my father.
Maureen had never met her stepmother, and she doesn't know if her stepmother actually knew anything about her and her brother before they turned up on her doorstep. So how did they get on?
It was fun. It was good. It took a long time, I think, for her to accept that he'd got other children. But my brother, of course, came home as well at the same time. And of course, my brother was then 16, and my father said, right, you're going in the services. He didn't have any choice. You are going in the services. And Maureen, my scholarship had been transferred to the Ursuline convent, as it was in Westgate. And you can finish your education, which I did. I took O-levels, but then after that, my father said, you're not staying in school any longer. You've got to learn a trade. So I went to technical college to learn shorthand and typing.
Maureen on the right, holding a huge carrot with her half-sister Anne, with whom she established a strong relationship. She was also close to her stepmother, Auntie Molly, and has fond memories of her half-brother John as well.
We all had our little jobs that we had to do, and one of my jobs was having to put his bike away in the shed every day. That's the only way I learned how to ride a bike, because I used to think, I'm not pedaling this, I'll get on it, and I used to just get on it, and that's how I learned to ride a bike.
Maureen's shorthand and typing served her well. She went on to get a law degree and become a clerk in the Crown Court, where she is pictured here. Here she is pictured in her next role as Deputy Clerk to the Justices of the Peace, Magistrates' Courts in Thanet. She was in the criminal courts for 40 years.
I did 40 years in the courthouse, and I loved it. Loved it.
Maureen is understandably proud of her career, which was remarkable given her difficult start in life. This picture was taken at her retirement lunch. She's also delighted that she had the opportunity to work and to raise money for many local charities. This is the crowd at a fundraising concert held in aid of the cancer care appeal at Margate Hospital, an appeal that raised over £1.5 million and led to the construction of the Viking Day unit. In the past year, Maureen was diagnosed with vascular dementia. She says that she was devastated when she received the diagnosis. So how does she keep herself active?
I do jigsaw puzzles. I read the Mail from beginning to end, apart from the sports. I'm not really interested in sport. Well, not football anyway. And this is because the doctor advised me to use my little brown cells, or little grey cells. And this is what I do.